The Chicago Bears had their joint practice with the Miami Dolphins today, and reportedly, the Chicago Bears dominated that joint practice. We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. And reportedly, the Chicago Bears absolutely dominated today and got the upper hand against the Miami Dolphins in the joint practice. Reportedly, that the Chicago Bears played more physically on offense, on defense, and in special teams. There were a couple of scuffles that broke out at multiple times between it, but the fact of the matter is when it came down to it, the Miami Dolphins also started fighting each other on the sidelines. The Bears completely and utterly broke the Miami Dolphins today in that joint practice, and hey, it is what it is. Here that the Dolphins got into a scuffle with each other is crazy with punches thrown. But with that said, in the practice itself, man, hearing that the Chicago Bears offense and that the physicality on both sides of the ball was just too much for the Miami Dolphins is music to the ears, especially when you hear that Dennis Allen's defense completely broke the Miami Dolphins. That's what you love to hear. That's what, again, we've been talking about so often here, getting back to having an identity on that defensive side of the ball. Well, it feels like Dennis Allen's defense brought that. And not only that, they may have broken the Miami Dolphins before they even take a single regular season snap. And that's the thing that really stands out to me. That's the thing that I love to hear about this when it comes down to it, is that right now, the Chicago Bears, I get it. It's take from it what you will, right? Take a huge grain of salt with it. It's a joint practice. It's a completely different environment. But I tell you what, I love hearing about my Chicago Bears team dominating when it came down to it. The Bears owned the day, the reports from it. Montez Sweat, Kevin Byard, Dayo Odeyingbo made some huge plays when it came down to it, and you love to hear from that one. You even heard that Caleb Williams ended with rough red zone series as well. We say that when it comes down to it, but hey, when it comes down to it, the Chicago Bears defense won the day. That was the thing that stood out the most today. And the thing that you want to take from this is that with the Chicago Bears and Dennis Allen bringing that defensive identity, you want to not only frustrate teams, but you want teams to feel it when they play against you. We'll talk a little bit about the offense where Tyson Bagent really stood out today with Colston Loveland and Braxton Jones all doing some things. But the thing that we heard about the most, the thing that everybody's all one band, one sound on, is that the Bears defense completely and utterly dominated today. We'll get into more of that. With that said, though, third team red zone in 11-on-11. Tyson Bagent was in at quarterback with the third team. Braxton was at left tackle with the third team. Colston Loveland at tight end. He threw a touchdown pass to Colston Loveland. Good to hear that one when it came down to it. Zach Wilson did score a touchdown on the Chicago Bears defense. And that was against the Bears twos, though. So it is what it is when it came down to that one. But overall, looks like Kyle Monangai also pass protection reps, what he had when it came down to it, that he actually picked up Bradley Chubb on a rep. And even though Bradley Chubb eventually got to Caleb Williams, that it was a good test for Kyle Monangai and how well he's going to really perform in pass pro for the Chicago Bears. They keep testing Kyle Monangai, and that's really good to hear when it comes down to it. Having him out there with Caleb Williams, they're really trying to see what they have in Kyle Monangai. And to me, that further highlights the fact of Ben Johnson earlier in the week talking about trusting Kyle Monangai, and you're still getting that when it came down to it as well. Dominique Robinson forced a fumble on Zach Wilson as well. And there you go on that one. So Dominique Robinson also making plays today. Red zone drills today. Tremaine Edmonds came away with a pick that he almost fumbled a little bit, but held on to the pick in the red zone period. You want Tremaine Edmonds to be good in coverage for you. It's good to hear with that one. Caleb Williams was sacked twice when the Bears were on offense in the red zone period, but did end up throwing the ball out of the back of the end zone. There you go on that one when it comes down to it. So overall, though, really solid day that we're hearing with it. Andrew Billings practiced with the second team as well. He was out there with the twos. there had been some speculation and doubt on what was going to happen when Andrew Billings mainly started from Darius, but Gervon Dexter is going to get the nod there as the starter with Grady Jarrett as there is what it looks like right now when it came down to it. But with that said, the Dolphins defense did beat the Bears offense in the red zone drill, which I'll go ahead and sound your trumpets on the Caleb Williams concerns there on two separate drives. There was nothing going for Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears on the offensive side of that 2 sacks call when it came down to it. He had a shot to the back of the end zone with Rome Odunze on a quick play, but at the end of the day, it wasn't what you really want to hear when it comes down to that. It was a rough start for Caleb Williams and the starting offense in the 11-on-11 periods. The Dolphins were sending blitz, which looked like it wasn't necessarily the way that the Bears wanted to deal with it. He had a couple of sacks, a couple of incompletions as well. But that's the growing pains of the Chicago Bears. It's unfortunate, right? But this is what Ben Johnson wanted. He wanted Caleb Williams to get out there and get the reps here in this practice here and again on Monday. The day after the game, even though Caleb Williams is not going to be playing in that game, but it is what it is. Surprise here, Theo Benedict actually got a look with the starting offensive line today at left tackle. Now, we have not heard Theo Benedict's name out there very much as far as somebody who's a candidate to win that even in the battle for the starting left tackle position. But I think this is more so than wanting to see Benedict out there with the starters. You're going to have different matchups and different looks at things. And so Theo Benedict getting a rep there, I think just says that they still want to see Theo Benedict all over the place, and we'll see what happens when it comes down to that one. So you got Tremaine Edmonds picking off Tua Tagovailoa as well. This is a big year for Tremaine Edmonds, and we've heard that the way that Dennis Allen is using him schematically has really kind of reinvigorated Tremaine Edmonds some. We need that from him, especially with the contract that he's on. So continue looking out for that one. 3 interceptions today, for Tua today. And, it is what it is when it came down to that. Even one of those being a pick 6 from Tremaine Edmonds as well. So there you go with that one. Tyreek Stevenson got pulled a little bit after a scuffle himself. It seems like he, it is what it is when it came down to it. But you like that edge. And Tyreek Stevenson is somebody who I think he really understands like what's in front of him as far as his job and things like that now. And the fact that he got pulled a little bit for a skirmish, it is what it is. Kevin Byard and D. Eskridge got into it. Tyreek Stevenson got involved in it. It is what it is when it came down to that one. The scuffles are going to happen. They always happen in regards to kind of joint practices, and especially when the Bears defense is beating your ass. I mean, what do you expect from that one? The Bears defense put the brakes on the motherfuckers today. The Dolphins did apparently do a good job at neutralizing Montez Sweat today in practice, but hearing the good things that we've heard about Dayo Odeyingbo and stuff in practice today as well may point towards, hey, if you're going to double team Montez Sweat, we still got some other weapons that are going to come at you as well. And that goes a long way with things also. Even though the Dolphins defense did eventually wake up today, stringing together some couple of big plays when it came down to it, they had their best period towards the end of practice, but it is what it is when it comes down to that one. The biggest winners reportedly of the day today, Olamide Zaccheaus, who had a really strong practice today, and the Bears defense. The Bears defense forcing multiple takeaways in today's practice is really the standout and the lasting impression that a lot of people are getting. And it's time. People are starting to get excited about the Chicago Bears defense and what it could be under Dennis Allen. We had Luther Burden as well coming up with some clutch plays as well in a 2-minute drill, which is good to that one. Those came from Case Keenum, not from Caleb Williams. So again, our Caleb, sound offers, go ahead and sound the horns there. We know you guys are a little bit worried about it, but overall, it seems like the Bears had themselves a solid practice. You got Luther Burden making plays, Olamide Zaccheaus making plays, Dayo Odeyingbo stepping out and giving on opportunities when you had, when Montez Sweat getting double teamed. Tyreek Stevenson as well was a standout amongst the defensive back group as well. You already can feel Al Harris's imprint on Tyreek Stevenson and how he's kind of waking up when it comes down to it. And overall, man, it seems like there's some solid things to happen today. Caleb had a nice play to Zaccheaus as well when it came down to it in the 11-on-11s, the second round of the 11-on-11s. Caleb Williams commanded the clean pocket when he had it really well, hit Cole Kmet on a pass underneath as well. So you got those things going for the Chicago Bears. And overall, seems like it was a pretty good practice, and everybody in attendance is feeling what the Chicago Bears did today. Grady Jarrett got fired up as well at times. Like, everybody's really kind of feeling it. And you're seeing that this Bears team has some pretty good chemistry here, and that's really good to hear from Michaela Williams. Colson Loveland connected on the first down as well. So it's really good things when it happens down to that. But let me know what you guys think, what you feel on this one. But the Chicago Bears defense dominating today. Love to hear it, man. That's my time. Make sure you guys are following us at Chi Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Chi-Town up, Bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.